Listen up. There's no more excuses.
We're empowering those who want the hustle by exposing the status quo.
The days of ordinary are over.
It's time to crush mediocrity and start discovering your greatest potential.
Welcome to the Hustle Nation. To the Hustle Nation. To the Hustle Nation. To the Hustle Nation. To the Hustle.
The story is that you were talking about your podcast and stuff and what you guys are doing, and every time you guys keep doing it, you learn something new. Well, so I just spoke at a high school a couple days ago. It was inner city Milwaukee, and it's almost like I got this gut wrench of where kids don't know how to dream, and that alone is so scary.
Sad.
And I think that also, so I kind of think about like what you guys are doing, like with your leadership, the hustle of it, but first it starts where you got to dream first. And I think that if kids don't know how to dream, think about that. Then they go into adulthood, right? And they've never still learned how to dream. So they think the world is like, it's completely against them.
That's an incredible point.
And they don't get anywhere further. So all this other stuff, the hustle, the leadership, all that stuff, it doesn't even matter until you know how to dream. And so that's a thing that I'm going to be talking about soon, is that if you're not in these spaces, like, and once again, it's about widening that perspective. Like if I would have not gone back to that, because I'm in this business world so much, and I do talk to some youth and stuff, but I'm in this business world so much where you just kind of get all this business noise, and then, but if I talk to students, high school students about to graduate, and they don't know how to dream. They don't even know what steps to go. Like, how do I execute my dream? How do I even start? What's possible? Like that's where it starts. And so I'm going to start to kind of talk on that a little bit more, because I think that trickles into adulthood. And then if somebody's appointed a leadership role that doesn't know how to dream, that's where the cycle continues. And that's where you see probably a lot of damage that happens, but it starts off at an early age.
It's interesting that the word realistic comes to mind. As people grow up, you hear it being said to kids all the time. They have a dream and they're like, that's not even realistic. Let's think of a realistic goal.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is the absolute killer of those dreams. And and there's adults that are probably well-meaning that are saying it, but it just absolutely destroys whether it be a kid's dream. But then, as adults, you just keep hearing, well, that's not realistic. That's not realistic. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. It's like, that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't have an example to live, up to. So that, the family's broken, the father's not in the home, they don't have that attention. No one's asking them what their dream is. That's another thing. No one's asking them. I talk to those kids and like the first, like they look like a deer in the headlights. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Forget all this other noise. What do you want to do? Anything. I don't care if you want to fly a spaceship. What is it?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know, man.
If anything, kids should have a dream more than adults.
Should dream about something, man. I remember when I was super young. It's like, I want to save all the animals, I want to, I have all these different things. I want to, be in space. I want to, all this stuff. But like, you got to dream, man. At some point, I think from a very young age, people like kids naturally just know how to be imaginative and creative and dream. And then at some point they get to that like high school level and they forget it. They get challenged. It's probably middle school, high school where they get tainted. And then there's something that, where, like you said, be realistic. You can't do that. It's just horrible, man. So this is another kind of narrative. I really want to push or have people understand like what that is and what we could do to help.
If anything, it sounds like the narrative for your next book.
It might be.
Tell me I'm wrong.
It might be. It is something I'm pretty passionate about.
I mean, when you said that, I knew immediately I had to record because I had a feeling where this was going. And I feel like all the stuff you do, because I know how dedicated you are to the city of Milwaukee, in your community, and just genuinely making the world a better place. Most of us entrepreneurs go back to youth serving organizations because we know that that's the future of tomorrow. And that's what kind of does it for me. And I just kind of knew, like, you're definitely a guy that kids would listen to and kids could be inspired from.
Yeah. And I gotta take advantage of that because I just relate to a lot of what they go through. And so, and I'm not gonna be that dude that's showing up in a suit. So like, I'm just gonna tell them like how it is and just show them kind of what's possible. Because like I was that kid that wasn't paying attention. I'm angry. I'm pissed off at the world. I don't know what's possible. You know, I was that kid. So it's like now on the other side, I got to be able to communicate something, like just leave something in them that just like, it might not be now, but at some point they're like, dude, man, maybe that dude was right. Like that I talked to like a year ago. Maybe he was
That's
right.
usually when it sets in a year later, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Damn, that Jamar guy. He's smart.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Cool.
Well, thanks for that, Jamar. That was good.
Thank you for being part of the Hustle Nation. Until next time, stay hungry and inspire those around you to hustle.